Welcome, welcome to Magical Mothering Motivation. Magical Mothering Motivation. It's Wilderness Wednesday. And today's video is all about connecting, or more rather, seeking connection with nature. And again, as you're coming on live, please make sure to say hello so that I see you, I know you, and I can feel you as much as you can see me. So, good morning, Lonice. So here we are, Wilderness Wednesday. And I love this. I almost cheated. So I have a confession to make. I almost cheated. During the 2 weeks off that I took from doing Magical Mothering Motivation, I almost came on August 1st because it was Lunisod, or what I like to refer to as the first day of autumn. In the pagan wheel of the year, which is the original calendar, and pagan was just the farmers. So the farmers used this wheel of the year to plant, to harvest, to do everything in connection with the earth. So pagan simply refers to the original farmers and the calendar that they used in order to do everything. So August 1st in the pagan calendar is the first day of autumn. And my gosh, I was at my mom's house and she has a giant sycamore tree and the leaves were falling. And I went, oh, how amazing is that? And when I began to seek connection to nature, I started doing seasonal festivals 3.5 years ago, and every year that I look and I seek connection with nature, I find it all the more real and all the more telling, and there's like truth in this our roots of going into nature, because we are nature beings. We have these physical bodies, and while we have this spiritual aspect to ourselves, good morning, Allison, as we have this spiritual aspect of ourselves and the lightness of ourselves, we are still physical beings in a physical world, connected to our physical earth, and nature is vital to that. So while Wednesdays are my day of really being aware of my connection to the earth, of just taking a moment to glance at the trees, to hug a tree, to touch a tree, to see that connection, and to really seek out seeing how it's transforming. So I wrote a little blog, or a little post on my my Facebook page, whatever, about rhythm, and rhythm really being how nature moves. And as a nature being, we have our own unique rhythm. And when we step into that rhythm, it is just as if, the acorns are now falling from the trees. And they're actually doing so almost 3 weeks early. Early to me, right on time to the oak tree that is dropping its acorns, right? So while a rhythm, people might look at a rhythm and go, you don't do the same things every day, or I don't understand, your life doesn't really look like it has a rhythm. But it does, it has a flow, because we do one thing that leads into another, that leads organically into another. And I get a lot of questions, and I've been getting a lot of questions for people that go to work full time, of how do I incorporate my rhythm when I already have a full schedule. And that's the beautiful thing, is we're going to really create beautiful little rituals to feel alive, to find our rhythm, to remember who we are and what we are doing and why we're doing it. So just as the oak tree drops its acorns, why does it do that? Well, to reproduce, to keep growing, to allow for itself to multiply, right? And I view our healing journey along the same lines. As we go through our rhythm, I feel like we get deeper and we understand more and we create more time and space and connection. And through rhythm comes more healing. It was a very surprising byproduct of my rhythm, even though in the Waldorf circles it's very well talked about, but they call it inner work. And I never knew what inner work was. And even when you look up inner work in the Waldorf circles, if you're an unschooler, I love Waldorf simply because it incorporates a lot of music and art and beauty and nature into homeschooling. So it's wonderful to kind of look at and feel you're going to get a little taste of it. But while I was going through this adventure of trying to learn rhythm, I didn't realize opening up so much space would allow for me to heal, which is just what inner work is, which inner work to me felt very vague and far off. I enjoy healing. I want to heal so that my children heal, so that I'm physically healed, so I'm mentally prepared, right? If you have any comments or questions about any of this, please feel free to comment and share. So seeking connection with nature, that's really what I'm just getting at today. And there's so many ways of doing it, but I feel like rhythm is one of a beautiful way to let nature teach us. Because oftentimes we look outside of ourselves, right? We look outside of ourselves to learn and to grow. And yet, when we look outside of ourselves to nature, nature is our beautiful teacher for us. And we can really create beautiful rhythms if we just tap into nature, which is what really the Discover Your Rhythm program is all about, is tapping within and then tapping outside of ourselves into nature, though, and using a teacher that is a worthy teacher, and not using the busyness of society and the media of what life is supposed to look like. And, you know, even me sharing that I had some issues with yelling the other day. I had quite a few women unsubscribe from my email list because of that email, and not using things outside of myself to gauge what I know I'm meant to be sharing. Does that make sense? And it's the same thing for our rhythm. There's going to be certain things that are in your rhythm that are completely different than what anybody else is doing. And feeling within and knowing that intuitively, being truthful and honest with yourself and looking to nature for guidance. Nobody's telling the oak tree, you can't shed your acorns yet, it's not time. It is being truthful and honest to itself and saying, it is time to release these acorns. My suspicion is we're going to have a pretty big winter. And it's releasing them so that they actually get washed down into the earth prior to the storms. If they came after the storms and after all this rain that I think we're going to be getting, then the acorns wouldn't be driven down into the earth in enough time for the snow to cover them and them to sprout, right? So there's so much beauty and so much purpose in nature's actions. And what about us? How often are we creating beautiful actions, which I think of as rituals, that create intention and purpose and joy in our lives? So that's kind of how are you going to seek out nature today? I'd love for you to comment. Please, please, please comment. What are you going to do to seek out nature? Are you going to go and find an acorn? You know, are you going to go and touch a tree? Are you going to just feel the earth with, you know, your feet or your hands and connect? There's so much that we can do to connect, and just looking for signs of autumn. I want everybody to do this, whether you believe it's autumn or not, or autumn transition, however you want to call it. Look for signs that things are shifting. It is actually cool today. I almost went back in and grabbed a sweater because it's so cool this morning. And I went, what a beautiful intention to look at things with fresh eyes. What a beautiful way of explaining that with the oak tree and the acorn. Thank you. Yeah, it's amazing when we do things with intention. Nothing that we do, and this, I know this can catch me up. Remember, I get caught up in things, but remembering that every action that we do, if it's not with an intention, it just doesn't have the same feeling, because we are spiritual beings. We aren't just these physical beings going through instinct. We have amazing manifesting power through our thoughts and through our intentions. And whatever our thoughts are in that moment, create the reality through that. So on Sunday, the day before, right before the full moon, we were at the beach. And I didn't make the intention of releasing everything like I do in my bath nights. I didn't make the connection and the intention of releasing everything into the ocean. And so what happened? On the full moon the other day, I yelled and went crazy. Not blaming, just connecting. So that was still my own lack of self-control, yet I'm usually really mindful of setting intention with the full moon so it doesn't overtake me. And because it did, I didn't have the self-control to catch myself. So allowing ourselves to really create a life of intention. And once we create these rituals and we start doing them, the intention that we had creating them pushes us through. Just like when the oak tree was made, it doesn't consciously think of it, the intention of when it drops it. Well, I don't know. I actually don't know that one. It could actually have the intention of spreading its seed and nurturing its acorns as it's dropping them. So I'm not going to put words into the oak tree's mouth, but as we really allow ourselves to open up, and through that 30-day tracking of becoming aware, what do you desire? If you don't know, please join the Discover Your Rhythm 3-month journey. And if you do know and you're not quite sure how to get there, again, please join us. If money is an issue and you need a different payment plan, or if you need something else that'll make it work for you, contact me. Let's get you in this if you have a desire to be in this, okay? And speaking of that, I am adding an all-new, I've never done it, I just read an entire book about it and was so inspired, all about turning conflict into understanding. So really creating space, because I know all the women that I have helped create a rhythm always butt heads with either their partner or their families. And so we're going to do a whole class and a whole session. So there's now a whole added class to the Discover Your Rhythm 3-month program, all about speaking and clarifying and connecting in an understanding way so that our partners and our families can come on board with us while we're transforming our rhythm and our homes. And this, I mean, it took 5 years of my husband now understanding what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. My gosh, I wish I would have had these steps so that I could have explained in a way that I wasn't feeling attacked, or I wasn't feeling like I was trying to convince them to change their whole lives. And, I wish I had this really simple system to go to him in a way that I could listen and I could understand his point of view so that I could tell him in a really loving and understanding way of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So this is going to be phenomenal. I know that I've worked with some women in the past who this class is really going to help, that they've joined this time. And it's just going to be an amazing way to empower ourselves. And this isn't going to just be used to explain why we want this rhythm for our home. This is going to heal. If you have any difficulty communicating your desires with your partner or your family or your loved ones or your kids, this class is going to be a game changer in really shifting the way that we're able to communicate what we desire in a way that creates understanding on the people that we're actually trying to convince. So it's not going to be this struggle, and because I know so many times rhythm fails when our partners aren't on board, when our families that we live with aren't on board. And so allowing ourselves to really create that understanding and that connection with them rather than feeling apart from them, trying to do it all. We don't need any more lack of support, right? That's not what we're looking for. We don't want to try to be doing this in a supportive community with our home life not being supportive. So I'm really excited about this class. It'll be the first time that I teach this because like I said, I just read a book on it, and it was so mind-blowing to me that I went, oh, this has to be a part of the Discover Your Rhythm. But I didn't want to take out anything that I already had incorporated in it. So I'm going to just add an extra class. So we'll meet one extra day in the first month. So what else is going on? What's going on with you? What are you going to connect with today? How are you going to connect to nature? What do you want to do to connect with nature today? You're not going to tell me? So, are you going to do acorns today? That would be fun. So, I'm going to leave you all with that. I am so grateful for you, and I am so grateful for this time that we can just spend connecting this morning. And again, PM me if you have any questions about the Discover Your Rhythm program, or if you think I actually really could use this in my home. I'm really excited about creating a rhythm, or there's something more that I need to be connecting with. Let me know, and we will figure out a way to make it work. So, you're washing dishes. I love it. Yay! 2 for 1. I love the twofers. As long as you can be, multitasking. You're doing your self-care and your mundane tasks all at the same time.
I'm gonna do shells, and I need another basket.
Okay. Zion is going to do shells today. Would you like to show some of the shells that you got from the beach?
Yeah.
Okay, pick some out and show them some of the shells. I need to make the effort to connect more. Just do it. So today, walk outside, find a tree, find the grass, and connect. And it really, I think sometimes, and Allison, I'm so glad that you say that, because I do the same thing where I go, this week is all about simplicity. How can we make our lives simple? How can we just create nature connection really simply? And maybe for you, you do need to go off and go to a space in the wild, right? Maybe drive around today with your kids and find some wild space that's actually close by. Yes.
The closed one.
Okay, show them. Can you hold it up?
Look it.
Okay, let's see. So,
Oops.
Oh, we got a closed little clam shell. What else?
A
silver dollar.
Hey,
I found that at the beach the other day.
Come out, sand. Let's rinse this off.
What else?
This.
A mussel shell with barnacles on it. I love that. Those were some beautiful gifts from nature. And Zion decided that we are not calling Earth Mother Earth. You want to tell them why?
Well, do you know why?
You just have to talk. They can respond, but it takes them a second. So tell them why you don't want to call it Mother Earth or Brother Sun.
Where are you, clamshell?
We'll find it in just a minute. Here, come up. We'll find it in just a minute. You find it? Okay, so he decided that because, Lonice is saying, tell us why.
Come on,
But we can, it's right here.
Oh.
She's waiting. They're all waiting in anticipation of why we're not calling. Okay. Why we're not calling awesome treasures, Lonice said. So why are we not calling Mother Earth Mother Earth? Why are we just saying Earth or Sun? Why?
It's both.
Like
snails.
Snails are both boys and girls.
So Mother Earth and Mother and all of Earth is that.
Boys and girls.
Uh-huh.
I love that. Yeah. And the trees are too, right? Is that what you were saying? Yeah. I love that. So he decided that they don't need a gender because it makes it too, we categorize it, and they can be both, and they can be all of it at once. Oh, from the mouth of babes. Loni says, I love it. Thank you, Zion. So snails, if you didn't know, snails are hermaphrodites, and they can be either one at any time. And through our vast snail collection, we actually learned this, and he put that connection together with the earth, thinking, well, the earth, of course, if it's reproducing, it could be both. It doesn't have to just be the mother. So that's that. We'll end on that amazing, fantastic note from the wise little Zion. So have a beautiful day. I wish you so much connection and love, and may you feel just completely filled up with earth time today. Peace and blessings. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, it didn't end. One more thing. I guess it's not supposed to end. Tonight is the Creating Your Magical Life Sisterhood. We are doing a theme of releasing or healing the relationship curse. And if you want to be a part of that, you can go to magicalmothering.com and sign up, and you will join in live on the gathering tonight. So real fast, that was it. Creating Your Magical Life Sisterhood. If you're not in it and you want to be a part of it, especially with this hot topic tonight, join in. And if you are in it, like Lonice is in the Sisterhood, I hope I will see you tonight. And I love you all, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.